Alright, hello everyone, welcome back to some Satisfactory. This is Zombo Skater. This is episode number dos. Alright, so hopefully you guys enjoyed the first video of this. Hopefully the sound and all the audio going on in the background, hopefully all that is actually pretty decent. It seemed like it was okay. In today's video, we are going to continue on with what we started. So we came all the way up here. I don't have my map yet because we haven't come to that point. But we came all the way up to the northwest. We used the interactive map last video. We came all the way up to the northwest, kind of came up to the desert, and followed it a little bit farther west around to the westmost set of good nodes in a kind of a about 1,500 meter area. We're gonna have quite a bit of resources for us. So we were on this current edge where we have 4 pure iron nodes sitting right here, 2 quartz up above, some coal and sulfur that direction, and then a little bit of copper there, and I think there's 1 limestone over there, and then of course the limestone here. So we're gonna be set up pretty good for our beginning stuff. So we're gonna get some stuff set up here today to get some basic primary resources, components, and then once we kind of get a good amount of goods together, we'll start to build some bigger factories making the basic components, and then we're going to send them to the east. We're going to run a long conveyor line all the way to the east to a central point that then the items from even farther east we're going to bring over as well, and then we're going to make our main base in the very center. So this is not where our main base is going to be, I've decided. This is just a great place for us to start out. So in today's episode, what we are going to do is actually begin working on our factories. So we have, last night, I kind of gathered a little bit up. So we've got pre-made, a bunch of iron plates, a bunch of cables, some reinforced iron plates and screws, which I just made in my manual, crafting bench over there. We've got some, sorry, not cables, iron pipes. And then we've got some cables, some screws, wire, good grief, tongue twister, which are made out of copper. And then I've got a little bit of limestone up here made into concrete. So we're actually going to take some of these items out so we can use them in crafting. And I probably should have done this when I was back in the storage unit just a second ago. Let's take one. And some screwies and some iron plates. And then if we come over here, we are going to have some biomass, and I'm not going to worry about grabbing this out yet. We're going to take this biomass and turn it, fill up a biomass generator so we can get power. And our biomass generators that we're currently going to use are just going to be these 2 on the back of our hub. That way we don't have to build a biomass generator. But we are going to start over here. So in this game, platforming is just, oh, and if you notice I have a ramp over here. I was just getting tired of walking all the way around to get up to my limestone node. And you notice the portable miners are gone. So I moved all my portable miners and built a few more and moved them over to the copper node because that was the last thing I was collecting. But platforming is a huge deal here. And when placing platforms down for like the nodes, we want to make sure that we're not too high up or not too low down, so things clip and look nice. So what we're going to do is we're going to come over to this first iron node here that we're going to work on, and we're going to start our platform here just slightly above the ground. So something I learned the other day is if you hold Alt and then use your mouse scroll wheel, if you notice down in the center of my screen where my hotbar items are, I actually have 10 slots available to put 10 items down here, your building components down here to build. So that's kind of nice. What we're going to do is go into our cube menu, and if we go down to foundations, I can actually place all of these here. So I'm just going to go, if I hit number 1 key while hovering over an item, that'll put it in the hotbar, and then 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6. Now you can see I have all the foundations on one hotbar, and if I hold Alt and go to number 2, go back into my build menu, we can actually just come down to walls and just, you know, we'll actually put walls on the one above. There's no reason to put walls separate from the foundations. This will be on 7. We're not going to use walls today, mind you. Go back up to Alt. And, okay. Organization. This is just going to be a storage container, so we can just go ahead and stick this on number 1. Lookout tower on number 2. Come down to number 3. We're basically just going to set all this up to where it's going to be nice and easy for us to come in here and build all of our components today without having to keep going back into the Q menu. Alt and then next one. So this is going to be power. So 1, 2, and 3. Alt up to number 5. Q and production. And then we'll just go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And the special, we're not even going to worry about these. All right, cool. So now we can just alt through all of our listings, all of our components. So starting out, we are going to build a foundation. So as you can see, this is going to clip into the ground a little bit, which is perfectly fine. Our big deal is coming out this direction, kind of where our highest point's going to be. And as far as this little jut part up, not too worried about this. But this node is higher than all other of these 3 nodes. We're actually going to go ahead and start our foundation building here. And what I want to do is I want to point myself directly north when I place this first foundation. So that way everything's kind of just easier for me to like get back and forth between all the different pieces and parts throughout the world. So all right, let's go ahead and try and center this on this node. And boom, there's our first foundations placed. And you can kind of see it's going to clip into the ground a little bit. Later on, when we go to make this look a lot nicer, we can, you know, put ramps up and elevate some of these platforms. Not that big of a deal. And, oh, while we're at it, let's grab some food. Boom. Didn't even notice that guy was over here. And I am just going to continue making platforms covering basically across all of these nodes. And then once we figure out where we want to get everything going, we will then come back and, you know, get all of our miners lined up properly. But for the time being, I'm going to go ahead and make a cut real fast as I build up a bunch of these platforms. Just kind of get everything set up for making our very, very first factory. So I'm going to cut out right now, and I'll see you guys in an internet second when I come back with a built-up platform. Now, something to note, these trees that are here, until I get a chainsaw, I mean, I can grab the leaves, but some of these won't go away. Not until I have a chainsaw. So if you come over here, see, I can grab the leaves that were on the ground, but now I've got these trees in the way, and obviously they look a little bit awkward sticking through your foundations, right? Not going to be a big deal. We'll be able to place components on top of these things that'll just clip through, and then later on we can come back through with our chainsaw and cut all these components off. Also, as you noticed, we started off on the highest node there, and by the time we got down to here, we're just ever so slightly above this node. So our elevation is not too big of a deal, and I think I could actually go up one more foundation, like about here. That may be just high enough that the miner will still connect and notice the node, but we fortunately do not have to do that. We can just right here on top of the node, and what's nice is you notice that the node is, for the most part, covered up. Like this little part is still sticking out. When you go to place the miner, it will snap to, as you'll see here later, it'll snap to where the placement needs to be, which is going to be a little bit awkward because it won't be quite centered like on a foundation, but that's okay. So, all right, I'm going to cut back out and finish getting this platform built up along this whole entire thing. I will be right back. Oakley dokley. So I think we're pretty much done with our base foundation work here. So, okay, you're going to notice some things. I haven't moved all of this yet. I can't place platforms here because these things are in the way. So there's going to be quite a few times that as you're playing inside the game, you're going to have to rearrange, reorganize all of your machines and stuff if you have placed them prior to making platform work, or just as you organize. And that's always kind of a tedious process. But what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to move all of this stuff kind of up to here. I kind of like this little spot up here. I can look down over my factories and whatnot. And it's got enough room for my hub and my equipment workstation. And then I'll keep the storage down there. I might put like one storage container up here just so I have personal, like just if I want to empty out my inventory quickly, I can put it up there. So I'm going to build some platform work up here, move this stuff up here, finish building this foundation. And then you notice I also left a spot open there and right here. And then over there, and then right over here by the copper. I've kind of, I can't put the foundations here because I got all those portable miners down there. And then our other copper node is just over the hill there. I'm not going to worry about building over to that today. It's not going to be necessary. But I need to clean all this up so I can put my foundations down. But I've left these spots open because the miner will snap to wherever a node is. Like if you're just like scanning around with your Mark 1 miner ready to be built, it'll go poof and snap there. But it's just gonna help me go, where the freak is this thing at? So I can come over here, put a foundation down, then stick my miner down as I realize where I need them. But the focus today is we're gonna build a quick iron factory to make iron plates, iron rods, and screws. We're gonna make a limestone factory to make us concrete, and then a copper factory to make us the wire and cables. Just 3 quick, simple Mark 1 miners on a pure node, so it'll be 120 ore coming out, and then making us all of our products. So I'm gonna cut, get this area cleaned up a little bit more, get the foundations finished, move all my items up here, and then we will get into building our first ever factory on this series, which I'm pretty excited for. We're gonna have quite a bit of goodies coming in without us having to sit at the crafting bench and manually craft. So I shall return once this platform is done. Oh, also to note, I guess, quick comeback. I guess I lied. I'm coming right back right now. So in order for me to have everything nice and kind of even, I guess I didn't mention, excuse me, I didn't mention that I'm facing exactly north. So that way, whenever I place all these platforms throughout the entire world, because things like act weird, like I don't like things being diagonal coming in, or I want to try and make this look as clean as possible. So if I go off somewhere else in the world and I need to build a platform all the way back over here, if I point myself directly north, every time I place my first platform, things should line up no matter where I'm at in the world. And, you know, my elevation might be a little bit different. So, like, if I use a 2 meter tall or 4 meter tall ramp, they might not quite mesh perfectly with this, but they should still be in line at least. So it'll still look semi-decent. But to get up to here, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to build walls straight up. And then once the wall gets to the point where I can put my foundation on, I'll put my foundation on here. I will eventually build a ramp down, but for the time being, I can just jump down. There's a walkway up here, too, that I could go. Like, I could build my ramp coming up this way. So, but for the time being, I'm just going to get a foundation up here. Anyway, cutting back out to finish doing all the necessary work. I shall return. Alright, so one other thing to note. So, okay, I made an extra storage container here just so I can sort out. This will just be like my biomass production. This will be concrete. This will be iron production stuff. And then copper production stuff, just so I can, you know, quickly sort it. I wish I could name these storage containers, but what you can do is if we come down to our alt and go to our logistics area here on our hotbar, and we can do a number 1 and just come out by 1 belt length. So to build stuff, you go to Q, or if you have it assigned on your hotbar, you know, you just select whatever you're selecting. You'll hear a little beep. You can kind of hear a beep there when it's connected. And then as you're building, you'll see these blue lines, right? The blue line shows me that I'm perfectly in line with whatever machine it's either going to and or coming from. And then with the mouse wheel, I can scroll left or right, or sorry, up or down to go left or right. And then you'll notice, like, when it goes red, that means it's not buildable. But if I come out a little ways, I can move this around and I can angle my conveyor where I want to go. And I can even go back into this one if I want to, or I can go wherever I need to. But the purpose of what I'm doing right here is I'm just going to come out 1 length. And then what this will do is, conveyors do not need power at all. But what it gives me is a quick idea. Okay, yeah, sure, this has got wire and cable inside this storage unit, but it lets me know it's copper related. Sure, this is screws, but that lets me know it's iron related. Concrete, or actually limestone, because I don't have any concrete in there, lets me know this is concrete related, and then wood just lets me know it's biomass related. So I can quickly just kind of walk up here and see exactly what's inside my container, and then I can, you know, open up the inventory still and grab what I need. And then also, when you're deleting buildings, so if I come over here, F brings up our deletion tool, and then we go all gangsta style with it. I'm gonna get all my items back. Even if there's items inside the storage container, when I break the storage container, you can see there in the middle, it's gonna give me what items I needed to build the storage container, and then it's gonna give me all the biomass stuff that's inside there as well. So if I delete this equipment workshop, I don't have to worry about going to regather partial and or all the ingredients needed to remake that. So now if I come over here and I Oh, I need to back out of this and go Alt up to my first tab and grab my foundations. I could just put this, put this equipment workstation back down if I wanted to. Obviously, I'm going to put it up there. But yeah, I just kind of tucked my storage away over here in the corner because it's kind of out of the way. It shouldn't be in the way of any of my factories or whatnot. But all right, back to finishing the building. I shall return in a short second. Under the cover of darkness, searching for the elusive leaves. Just kidding, they're not elusive. Haha, still building. I'll be right back. Alright, and we're back at the sunrise. The beautiful, beautiful sunrise. That means I can't see a damn thing. It is very, very bright here. Look at that sun coming up over there. Oh, so nice. Wow. Wait, the sun rises in the west and sets in the east? That is opposite. I'm confused now. All right, anyway. So here's some things about building that kind of can get frustrating. So we put all of our stuff up there. We'll eventually try and do some like wall work or something to like make that look nicer up there. But for the time being, it's functional, right? I got a platform up there that makes everything nice and flat. I've got all this big area now to help build anything that I want to that's going to be perfectly flat. I can align everything up nice and easy. And it's going to make matters so much better for us. But here was my frustration. So, one, I have to have the chainsaw to cut all of this stuff down that's just popping through our foundation. Which, not going to be a big deal. We'll get to the chainsaw pretty quickly. But when I was building my ramp up here, when I got up to the top where I was going to turn and kind of come up, this tree right here, if I go to like build a platform, you can see that it says encroaching others clearance. So it's this damn tree. Like not these trees. I could bow right through this. It's this tree right here that's a partial tree. So I ended up having to like just do a little workaround, and of course because I can't cut the trees down, they're in my way. But I worked my way up over here. And then as I went to make the platform up here, this log right here also encroaches us, so I can't build platforms over here yet. Not until I get my chainsaw. But I moved my hub up here, put my equipment workstation and crafting table up here, so it's all nice and handy. We have a way to get up and down, and now we can look out over our kingdom. Okay, so now that that's done, and we've got everything slightly organized. Hey, I can pick this up. Get out of here. Anything I can pick up underneath these is just going to be nice for the time being. Give me that. So now what we're going to start with is we're going to start with our iron factory, then our limestone, then our copper, and just kind of work our way over to the side. Let us get down. Our resources are down below us because we're going to need them down there. And, Spec. Hey, little dude. Can I pet you? Aw, bye, doggo. So iron factory first. So we're going to use this first node that's right over here that I actually covered up, unfortunately. So I can't see it. So what we are going to do is we want to try and maximize the amount of efficiency that we're using with our factories for a few reasons. One, to make the most components that we can. And two, to make sure that nothing's going to back up. So that way everything's just constantly running. And three, because you only have a limited amount of nodes throughout the world. So if you want to make sure that you're utilizing all those nodes to the best of the ability, you have to kind of take a look at, okay, how much is this machine producing? How much is this machine going to output? So if we go ahead and come into our menu here, grab our Mark 1 miner, and you can see that as I'm going to place it down, it says I'm missing a portable miner because I was a doofball and I put my portable miners all the way up there. I gotta run all the way back up to craft this. So I want to ask a question. Do you guys want to see me building everything, or do you want for me to continue doing these kind of quick cuts and leaving all the tediousness of gathering and crafting and all that stuff out of the way? When it comes to the factories, at the beginning we're going to go through the whole process of building the factories. Hello? Hello? Where did all my portable miners go? Uh-oh. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Uh-oh. I think I might have deleted my portable miners. Unless I stuck them inside one of the storage units. Uh-oh. But yeah, so the question I want to ask is do you want to see, like, did you want to see me build this entire platform? Or is it cool that I'm kind of cutting all that stuff out? Kind of, make the video a little bit shorter than it should be. Ah, well, poopy. I got rid of my portable miners. Oh, I probably dropped them somewhere, actually. Actually, they're probably in a chest. Like, actually, they're right here. Look at that, you can see the chest is just barely sticking out of the top, and when I come walking over here, you can see the full outline. That is hilarious. So I don't know how long, oh, I can't take everything. I don't know how long chests and dropped items remain on the ground. I haven't kind of tested it out to see if things disappear after a certain amount of minutes. Holy crap-a-moly. We're gonna go stick some of this stuff up in the personal storage up here. Actually, you know what? Let's just go ahead and build a personal storage down here. There's no reason for us to keep walking all the way back up there. Organization storage. Boop. And then we don't need to put a little... Oh, actually, you know, we'll put a little conveyor action here just so we can see that it's personal storage. Be anything fancy, bam, bam, like that, right? And then let's put a sort this out. We'll put a piece of food item in there to stick out so we know it's personal storage. And then we'll just stick all the stuff that we don't regularly use here, and then stick the biomass in there. And then we can come over here and grab the rest of our portable miners, and now that's cleared off the ground, which is nice. Oh yeah, so there we go. So we can kind of just see that's odds and ends stuff. There we go, extra little storage. Looking nice and tidy. All right, now that we have our portable miner, go back into a queue, and actually, yeah, because I didn't, I don't think I put these, or did I put these on a hotbar item? Number 5? Yeah, it's on number 5, so it is number dose here. So now you can see our portable miner. Even though I can't see the node below me, because our foundations are low enough, it will still clip into the ground. And then I can just, after I place it down, like where it's snapping to, I can use my mouse wheel to scroll this around. And now what I want to do is I want to maximize my space as well. So I have a portable miner, not a portable miner, a node there, a node here, and one here. I'm not combining all of these miners together. I'm going to use each individual miner as its own factory. So this one's going to make our basic components. Then we're probably going to do reinforced iron plates, and then rotors are going to be our first 3 big ones. And this node over here will be modular frames. So we want to kind of have an idea of how much space we're going to be taking up. So for this miner, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to face its output this way, and then we'll build our factory over here in this area. So fortunately for this one, it's kind of almost centered up, but it's not quite lined up with a center point or any good snapping point. Not a big deal. Your conveyor is going to be a little bit skewed, but then after you get your conveyor to where you want it to go, it'll be fine. So we built up our unit here, and this thing is pretty awesome looking once we get power going to it, and the power is going to connect to that little conductor up there, and then that light will turn yellow or green depending on whether this is working. You do have a ladder, so you can climb up and get around to stuff if need be. But if you come down here, you can see the nice, awesome big drill bit, but I can push E to configure, and you're going to notice that this is going to require 5 megawatts of power. Our biomass generators, I believe, will generate 30 megawatts per biomass generator. So we have to start thinking about how many biomass generators are we going to need to keep everything running. So for right now, I can still build 5 more of these miners, and all 6 of them would run. And then it's going to be 120 items coming out of here per minute. So the next thing to think about is that our conveyor belts, if we look at our queue menu, go to logistics, our conveyor belt says transports up to 60 resources per minute. So the thing here is that we're not going to be able to pull enough items coming out. So what we're going to want to do, and for the first build here, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to lay everything out flat, just so you can kind of get an idea of how all this needs to work. And then we'll tear all of it down and build a vertical factory to save space. All right, so what I first want to do is we're going to go back up to our logistics stuff here, and we're going to build a quick belt out, just a short one. And actually, I think I'm going to turn this just because I don't want to have all these trees in my way. We'll get a nice 90-degree bend here, and we're actually going to go out that way, just that way we have no trees in our way. Kind of come right to the middle, keep this nice and aligned. And so a trick here is wherever you want your 90-degree bend to do, instead of having to, you know, bend this around like this and then find where my point is, what I can do is say this is exactly where I want my turn to happen. Get to that point and then go back 2 steps. And then when you place your conveyor, if there was a piece of equipment aligned, you can see it's a perfect 90 bend. All right, so this is going to be our first point of where we're going to start connecting equipment. And actually, I got to delete this because I'm just going to connect it right in. So because this thing is only doing 120 and we're only getting 60 out, our machines aren't going to be very efficient to begin with. Eventually, once we get up to Mark II, I'll just convert this conveyor over to Mark II conveyor, which will be 120. I'm going to build this up exactly how I would build it if I'm getting a full amount of resources out. And then all I have to do from there is I'll just upgrade the belt and then it'll all be set up. So we're going to grab our conveyor, not splitters, not mergers, I mean. We're going to grab our splitters, and you notice that there's arrows on the splitter. Orange is always going to be your input. Green is bluish, whatever color you want to call that, is going to be your output. And so I'm going to have this conveyor belt is going to be coming right in here, and I'm going to place this right on the middle of this foundation. And I'm going to grab my belt back, which is 1, and I'm just going to run my belt right in here. So if this was 120 coming in here, I could split this out 3 ways if I wanted to. So 120 divided by 3 would be 40. But because I'm going to want to get this from 60, or 120 down to 60, from 60 down to 30 for our smelters, then I am just going to go ahead and split this up 2 ways. And I probably should have given myself more room from here. But no biggie. So I'm going to take a belt, actually not out of here, because I'm going to need to split this 1 more time. Go ahead and grab our splitter. And let's put this splitter over here so that way we can get past our constructor there. And I'm just going to stick it right in between both of these foundations. And actually, yeah, let's just do it right here on the edge. And then we'll do another one right here on this edge. And you can see the blue line is showing me that if I was to place this here, it'd be perfectly aligned with the splitter next to it and then perfectly aligned with the splitter behind me, which I don't want. I just want it to be aligned with that splitter. But actually, we also need a tiny little bit more room. So I'm going to come all the way over here. This is going to be gigantic just because I want to like be able to show you how this works. But now all we need to do is connect this splitter to here. And then I want 90 degrees. And now you can see I got a blue line coming out right, which means I'm connected to the splitter next to me. Go back 2. And put my belt, boop, right in. So perfect 90 degrees. Just if you want to make things look nice. I mean, you don't have to. You can have your conveyor spaghettiing all over the place if you wanted to. No big deal. So if this was 120 belt coming out, this splitter would then take this and go 60 that way, 60 this way. But our smelters, so if you come to your smelter, production smelter, and we'll stick this down. If we come in here, you can see iron ingots. If I select this, it's going to only take 30 in, which I can't do with 60. That's going to back belts up. So what I will do now is I'm going to split both of these out again. And I probably want to go ahead and put my smelters down so that way we actually know that we have enough space to do all this. Let's take our smelters. We want to make sure the input is facing to us. We're going to get it right on the edge and center of that foundation. Same with that one. Same with this one. And then our final smelter. And then we'll put the splitters basically, we can go, what, number 5? We can just take a splitter right here, make sure our input is going the right direction. And 1 more splitter right here. And then what we'll do is, this is kind of looking a little funky because I have these, you know, I'm just placing this down. I'm not even quite thinking about it. We can come into here. Wait a minute, Nathan. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. We don't need to do this. We don't need to do this because it's 120. Splitting out to 60. And then if I split this out, it'd be 30. We don't need to do this. We can just take this right here. Come out to where we're on the edge, which won't match. So we're going to have to actually turn this like this. Oh, poopy. Gonna turn a little bit. I don't like this. Whatever. No big deal. Okay, so like I was saying, you can just splay these out any way you want to. This is going to be a little bit messy of a, you know, it's not really a good tutorial, I know. All right, so So let's go back over here. Let's consider this again. This is my you're starting to get a little bit of an idea of my my wacky brain and how it works. So we got our miner making 120. If this was a Mark II belt, it'd be carrying 120 items to the splitter, and then the Mark I belt can carry 60. So we got 60 coming out here, 60 coming out here, and then we're splitting it again. So 30, 30, 30, and 30 going into each one of these smelters. And the smelters, as we see, with iron ingots, 30 in gets me 30 iron ingots out. So 30 iron ore coming in gets me 30 iron ingots coming out. That is that, which right now, for the time being, we're going to be inefficient because we're only going 60, 30, and then 15. So this is only going to run at half capacity. Not a big deal. What we could do is we could come over here either to our miner, or we could come over here to our, actually we can't do it with our miner. We'll come over here to our smelter, and when we start to make stuff, we'll eventually get ability to underclock and overclock our machines. And then we can actually just take, you know, the machines either down to 50%, excuse me, or take the miner down to 50% to get that efficiency. So it would be outputting either half from here or inputting half coming in. All right, so from this, what we want to do is now we're making iron ingots. So if we were at full capacity, we'd be making 120 iron ingots. And we're going to want to separate this out to make iron plates, iron rods, and screws. Now, if we had looked at our crafting bench, which we'll just do with the constructor, but basically, iron plates, fine. We can just construct iron plates, take them off to storage. Iron rods, we're going to need to split the iron rods up because iron rods are required for iron screws. So this is not too big of a deal. We can basically just take some constructors out of here, and we're just going to do 2 of these smelters are going to be constructing our screws. So we'll go ahead and put a constructor down there, a constructor down there, and you notice these take up a full platform, and I put that kind of a little bit weird. But these take up a full foundation, so I want to make sure that I'm lining all these up to be nice and even. We can actually go ahead and just put our last 2 constructors down here. So these 2 constructors are going to come from here to make iron rods, and we can just go ahead and get them belted up. Which actually, oh man, Nathan is making all sorts of mistakes. Nathan is making big mistakes. Here, I'll show you why. So if we come into our constructor, iron plates, 30 ingots coming in, and then you get 20 iron plates coming out. However, if I select the iron rod recipe, it's only 15 iron ingots in. So what we're going to need to do is we should have enough space to put our splitters in, but we're going to actually add 2 more constructors here. And the reason being is because I'm going to split these up, so each one of these 4 are going to get 15 ingots. So we can just now go ahead and connect these 2 up, set these to make iron plates, and come over here, and we're going to basically take the outputs of this, and we are going to grab our splitter, and we'll have the input kind of come in off of the foundation here. We're going to have our splitter kind of come right here to the edge of this one, and we should be able to just go straight out from here like this. And then we will take our output of this, go right to here, into here, yeah. And then we'll take this, we'll try and worm this around a little bit. It's going to be a little bit awkward, mind you. Oh no, I put my input over here. I faced this a certain direction for a reason, and then I ignored it. Boom. And then we can just take this input to here. And then this one, out of the way. Alright, so that kind of was a little bit of a mess. But so basically, we're making 30 iron ingots here. It'll come down to this conveyor, split out to 15 and 15, split out from this one to 15 and 15, and each one of these are going to make iron rods. I've already set that one. Did I already set that one up to make it? Wait, right? Yeah. That was my constructor that I was using as my example. Alright, so now all of those are making iron rods. And so what we're going to get out of this is we're going to get 40 iron plates per minute out of those 2. We're going to get a total of, what would that be? That'd be 60 iron rods coming out of here. And then what we need to do is finally we're going to take these two constructors that are making iron rods, which will give us 30 iron rods, and we're going to merge those outputs together, right, like this. And the reason being is because when we make the screws require 10 iron rods per. So the easiest way to do this would be just to come out here, merge them together to get 30 back again, and then just take a splitter, connect this belt right here, and now we can just split this up 3 ways. So we're going to go ahead and take and make 3 constructors. I'm just going to line these up as best as I can. This is going to actually require some more foundations, not on our hotbar. Should be able to make constructors again. Make sure your inputs are going the right direction. Getting a little bit squirrely here. And now we should be able to just go ahead and connect conveyor belt up. And like I said, I usually like to make nice 90-degree turns, but since this is just me showing you how this all works, we'll just have these weird looking conveyors. But if we go into these constructors now, you're going to see when I make screws, it takes 10 per minute in to make 40 out. So obviously we want to get the best efficiency we can out of this. We'll do that. And then what's happening, like I said, is 15 iron rods are coming out of here and coming out of here, merging to make 30. And then 30 here divided by 3 is 10, 10, and 10. So now we'll have the most efficient coming out of there. And all that's left now is to grab our storage and grab our power. So what we'll do here is we're going to take all of these and we're just going to merge them together. So if we come to the output of this, we're going to grab an input. That is a splitter, Nathan. Our merger. We'll just line this output up with this one here. Stick it there. Stick it in line. Make sure we're lined up. And then this one I don't need to have a merger in front of because I can just go ahead and take belt in. And so now when you're merging stuff together, you want to be aware of your belts. So this is outputting 40, and then this one's outputting 40, which makes 80. We don't have Mark II belt, so eventually we're going to have to upgrade this. So for the time being, this is only going to be outputting 60, so we're going to kind of get backed up here a little bit. But eventually that would be 80, and then we'd have another additional 40 coming here, and then we're going to go to storage. So we'll just go grab a organization limiter, that down there, get our belt hooked up, and so now that's storing our screws, and then just rinse and repeat here. So we're just going to take these and merge them together, and you know, it doesn't really matter where you have them merging, to be perfectly honest. For this, we're just going to take this into here, this into here. So that's just making 30, and then where's a storage unit here, storage container, and you know, this is all messy looking. I really don't care. That's going to store our 30 rods per minute. And then finally, we're going to merge together both of these. We'll just stick this right in line with this one. Belt it up. Yeah, belt it up to the right there. And then we can grab another storage container. We're just going to stick this ugly down right here. Why not? And then belt it up. And then now what we're going to do is we're going to grab our power from up here. So if I just click, go down to my power poles, I can just click a number two, which is my power pole. And the nice thing here is, so you'll see me, I can reach this, right? So if I click on it, it's going to give me both a power line and a power pole. So all I have to do is just bring this down, and let's go ahead and bring it as far away as we need. And we'll just go right here. And so now we can connect this to our miner. And then these only have 4. You can only make 4 connections. So basically 1 input line for the power, and then you can go off to 3 machines. So it's best to kind of make sure that you're going to be able to power all your machines nicely. So I like to kind of bring power poles. It seems like a lot of power poles, but I like to bring all my power poles kind of nicely out, and then I'll just connect 2 machines to each power pole. Just kind of looks a little bit cleaner, a little bit nicer. Obviously, for this, it doesn't really too matter because this is just a little showing you how things are working. And then we'll come over here, like we said, connect to the power pole right here. Over to the middle of these ones, and we got what? We've got 1, 2 right there. We've Got 1, 2 right here and 1, 2 over there. So put 1 there. Put 1 right here. This isn't clean looking. I'm not too bothered with it. No, no, no. Go right here. Right here. Connect, connect. Connect, connect. Connect, 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 connect! And then finally, we've got our constructors all the way over here that go to our screws. Hello? Connect. Can I have a pole? Thank you for the pole. And we'll come all the way over here. And since this is the last part of our build for this anyway, we're just going to stick 1 power pole down, and then we've got access to 3 points to power it. Boom, like that. And so now if we come in here, we're going to see that this is going to require 4 megawatts. And I believe all the constructors, it doesn't matter what it's producing, 4 megawatts, right? So we've got 4, 8, 12, 15, 18, 21, 20, no, I said 4, right? 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, 36. So 36, we're already exceeding 6 of the capacity of 1 biogenerator. 36, this requires 4, so 40, 44, 48, 52. And then our, didn't our miner take 6? 52. So we are at, 57 megawatts. So fortunately for us, if we come all the way up here, we're going to grab our biomass. We put our biomass in, yeah. Grab it all, control and left click grabs it all. We're going to walk all the way up to the top, and which will also give us a nice top-down view of my spaghetti mess over there. Things look a lot cleaner once I start making actual factories, but I just wanted to kind of show you how this all works, and we will reiterate and kind of go back over it again. Let's go ahead and build a platform out over here so we can actually walk to our biomass generators without falling. But one of the reasons why I connected this the way I did is, and actually we'll get rid of this one, and we're going to put a power pole right up at the edge here. Let's get, F, get back to our power lines. We'll just look down here to, like, say, this power pole right here, which has 4 connections, so that's not going to work. We'll just grab this one right here. Now I can go ahead and connect this to both of these biomass generators. Now if I come into the biomass generator and sticks them in, you can see that this is, oh, this is only making 20 megawatts. Ooh. Ooh. So 40 megawatts is not going to power everything we need, so we're going to go ahead and actually build yet another biomass generator, and we'll actually connect the power up to here. Come on in. And now we're making, well, see, this one's making 30 megawatts. These only make 20. Huh, interesting. Hadn't seen that before. So the biomass generators that are on your hub only make 40 total. Huh, interesting. Didn't notice that. Whereas the ones that you build later on make 30. So we are now making, if we come to a power pole, you can see that there's a little box on it, or if I come to any of my power making objects, you can interact with it and it shows you how much you're making. So we are making 70 megawatts of power, and currently we are only utilizing 6.3 megawatts of power. So you can see that there's yellow lines, yellow lights coming off of all of these constructors because they're not being used. But as soon as the inputs start happening, you're going to notice that as it starts to craft, it turns green to show me that it's working. So we are not at proper efficiency with this because we are only utilizing 60 coming in from our Mark 1 miner instead of 120 like we would like to have. So things are going to get backed up. As storage gets full, it's going to back up. But the big thing here is that now I don't have to craft iron plates, rods, or screws. It is just being done for me. And all I have to do is simply come down here and rechange out some of the conveyors as I get the upgrade. So like the first step is going to be making this a Mark II conveyor, and then making this a Mark II conveyor over here. So that way I'm getting everything to where it needs to go for max efficiency. And then once we step up to Mark II miner, then we're going to start getting 240 iron per minute coming out of our miner. So we'll have to then go up to a Mark III and then change all these, add more splitters, so on and so forth. But you get the basic gist. So to kind of reiterate what went on here, and I think this is actually going to be, we're not going to make our limestone and concrete factory today. We're just going to go ahead and change this to make it a vertical factory to make this work nicer. But just to reiterate how this works. Our Mark 1 miner is making 120 iron ore per minute. We would use a Mark 2 belt and then split it to get 60 iron ore, 60 iron ore. And then you would split both of those lines again to then get your 30, 30, 30, 30 to go into 4 smelters. Each smelter can input 30 iron ore a minute to give you 30 iron ingots out per minute, which is the max efficiency. So we now have 4 lines coming out with our 30 iron ingots. These first 2 constructors here accept 30 iron ingots to make me 20 iron plates out per minute. So I've got 2 of these making that, and then I'm just merging the outputs. So it'd be 20 iron plates, merging them for 40 iron plates a minute going into storage. The second 2 constructors, actually all 4 of these constructors here are making iron rods. What ends up happening is that 2 of my constructors are accepting, actually all of them, sorry, let me back that up again. All 4 of these can only accept 15 iron ingots in to make 15 iron rods out. So I have to split the outputs of 2 of these smelters, so I get 30 iron ingots splitting up into 15 iron ingots, and then each one of those is going into a constructor making iron rods. Then what I'm doing is I'm taking these outputs of 2 of these constructors, and I'm merging them together, so 15 iron rods plus 15 iron rods makes 30 iron rods going into storage. The reason I'm doing that is because to make screws, I need iron rods to make the screws. So we're taking the last 2 constructors here and merging them together to give us 15 plus 15 iron rods makes 30, and then I'm splitting that 30 out into 3 times, so 30 divided by 3 makes 10 iron rods, 10 iron rods, 10 iron rods going into constructors that are making me 40 iron rods per minute from each constructor for a total of 120. So technically, as I merge these together, my first would be 40 plus 40 makes 80. I'm already needing to get up into Mark II belts, and then when you add to the last one, 80 plus 40 makes 120, so Mark II belt will still work there into our constructor. Awesome. So the thing to note is with biomass generators, you're constantly going to have to come up and re-put fuel into them. Once you get up into coal generation, which is the next step up for power generation, once you get that set up, it's just powering. It's just doing its thing. You never have to go back to the coal generator ever again. That requires both water extraction and coal coming in. So yeah, look at this. This is nice. This is nice and horribly messy. It's spaghettified. But everything is actually operating. Everything is working. And if we come over here, we can see we already have 68 iron plates. We have 53 iron rods. And 182, 184, 100. It's still climbing screws. So that's nice. I don't have to worry about that anymore. It's just going to do its thing. So I can basically just kind of put myself in a safe space and just let my computer run while I go walk off and eat lunch or eat dinner or, I don't know, do whatever the heck I want to do or go off and build something else. No matter where you are in your world, I believe it's a 30-kilometer squared world, this is going to keep running. It's not like Minecraft where something has to be chunk loaded in order for it to be, or be in the spawn chunks to be constantly running. This is going to run no matter where I'm at in the world. So that's really, really nice, which is why you can take stuff like this and then run a conveyor belt all the hell the way back to your main base, wherever your main base happens to be, and just have your components either, build a factory there and just run the ore to your main base, or build a factory here and then have the components running to your main base. Obviously, if you run the ore all the way back to your main base, it's going to require less conveyor belts, which is something to think about or consider. But what we're going to do is, because this is our starter area, we're going to need to make our factories here, and then eventually we'll run component lines to the east to bring our components to us where our main hub's going to be. So what I am going to do is I'm going to make one last cut, because I'm going to redesign this in a vertical fashion and show you kind of my thought process once it's all built on how I like to build things in a smaller space, a little bit more efficiently, in a nice vertical area, so we can get much more here. Because, obviously, we already took up this entire platform just building this, and we still have 3 more nodes sitting here, and limestone that we need to bring down, and copper that we need to bring down. So this isn't going to work. I can't build any more here unless I build a platform up above it. So I'm going to make a cut, build my vertical space, show you what that looks like, and then we're going to call it a video. Unfortunately, I talked and rambled on and built so much stuff that we didn't have time to get all over here. And I think that might have actually just kind of whenever this game autosaves, it has bad lag, especially the more stuff you have built. So if you didn't catch that, what I said is we didn't have time to build our limestone and copper. We'll do that next episode. I'm going to build a vertical one, make a cut to build it, and then show it to you, then we'll call it a video. All right, I will be right back. Woo, all right, take a quick break. So it's coming along nicely. We've basically got our input line coming in here, going to smelter coming up, going to our constructors making our iron rods and iron plates, and then I ran out of material to make concrete, so I had to go over to the copper node and pull up a bunch of the portable miners and stick some portable miners back up there. But progress is coming along. It's taking forever. All right, back at it. But here we sit, making concrete manually. By next episode, we'll have our limestone factory built up. It's actually a pretty simple factory to build. Not very many components to it. However, I'm just not going to have time in this video. But, oh man, it's so nice once you get stuff automated and you don't have to sit here and just wait for the crafting bench to get done. On that note, back at it. Gathering materials, making more concrete so we can get finished on our building. See you in a second. Alright, welcome back. We finally have this thing built. That took me a whole lot longer than it needed to, and oh, I don't have my power going to here. Hold on, let us finish this. We are not actually done. Let's take power from this power pole, and we'll just come straight down to like here. And then power this bad boy up. Okay, now we have it going. So essentially this is exactly the same setup we had splayed out all over here. But as you can see, being nice and vertical, it's only taking up a 3x3 area. So all that's happening is we've got our miner coming in right here, and then I'm doing all my splitting work here to then get it up to the next level, and I'm using these lifts to go directly from the conveyor, lift it up, and we should actually, here in a second, when we see this ore coming over, it's a little bit slow because this isn't Mark II belt, unfortunately. As we see this come over under the cover of night, it's getting dark. Light on this. You'll actually be able to see this ore coming up, which is so awesome. Look at that. That is so cool. So then all I have happening there is it's going up to the 4 smelters that we had before. And then actually, if I build a little bit of a foundation work, which is not that, let me go back to foundations. And let's build a ramp up real fast, just to show you. Eventually you can get ladders and all sorts of things to help make your... Oh, but that is not the right component. No wonder it's like, give me a ramp. So then what's happening is, here, all we're doing is taking the outputs of this, and instead of pre-splitting it up like we did down here, because we had the room to just keep splitting stuff open, what we did is we're merging these together, and then taking them up to what's called a sandwich layer. So in between this little spot here, if we can work our way up, hopefully we can. Hopefully we won't have clearance issues, which I have a feeling we are going to. Let's just go this way. 6. So on our sandwich layer, you can see again, we've got a bunch of splitters going on inside there. And all we're doing is, because we had to go from the 4 smelters to 6 individual constructors, 2 of the constructors making plates, 4 of the constructors making iron rods, all I do is I bought this up here and split it out in such a way that the ingots that are coming up here are making iron plates, and then the ingots that are coming up here split out to make the 15 iron rods per thing. And then from there, all we do is we take the iron plates, and we're just bringing them straight down to storage, because we don't need them anymore. And then we're splitting the output of the iron rods. One side is going up to these 3 constructors making screws, and the other, these 2, like per se, are coming straight down and going into storage. And then all I do up on top is I split this out 3 ways to get my 30 iron rods coming up into here, split out into 10, 10, 10, and then it comes up to the constructor, and then the constructors just all merge together on the output and come down and go over to storage. As you can see, everything's basically power usage is exactly the same, because splitters, mergers, conveyor belts don't require any kind of power. So I'm using the exact same amount of constructors as I did before. I had to use a few more mergers and splitters because of keeping the lines going up nice. But what's really nice about this system is just how clean it looks. Everything's efficiently going up. Everything's efficiently coming down for the most part. I mean, this is kind of a screwy-looey because I didn't really... This isn't where I'm going to keep my my storage unit. This is just... I'm just keeping storage for the time being. But as you can see, we've got iron plates coming around. We've got screws coming around. And they basically just come over here into this tower of storage. We've got our iron rods going into here. And what happens is it comes into this container, comes down to this one, comes down to this one. So that way, once this container's full, it'll just keep going back up. But as you can see, 45 iron rods, 72 screws, and 43 iron plates. So now we are done and dusted. We've got a nice small area, kind of off. And so now what we can do is with this node right here, now we'll have all of this area here to build. I think what we're going to do first is reinforced iron plates. And then we'll take this node over here, and we'll have all this space here to build the rotors. And then we'll take that node over there, and we'll have all that space over there to build the modular frames. So that's going to be nice. So see how we can fit so much more equipment here in this tiny little space. And let me walk up my ramp real fast. And we're going to close out up at the top. In between this video and the next video, I'm just going to just do some AFKing and let those machines run up. And gather as many resources as I can. I'll make a whole bunch more copper components and a whole bunch more limestone components. But yeah, as you can see, look at that right there. Nice little small footprint. So instead of it taking up this entire area like we had before, it's just taking up 3x3 space. And then, of course, the storage. But what's nice is because how I have the platforms a little bit up, I might be able to run some of my wire conveyors underneath to a central storage unit. Or just, I don't know, figure something out later on to do all my storage to get it out of the way. So that way I would have this space available for, you know, putting another factory if needed. But with that, I think we are just going to go ahead and call it a video. It has been kind of a jumbled mess of a video, as this is the first time I've kind of tried to display how to build in this game. I promise I'll get better in the next video. I'll have a more concise approach to a tutorialized kind of video. We're definitely going to need some more power come next video as well. So, this is Zombo Skater. We have built our basic iron necessities. Next video, we'll do our limestone and our copper basic necessities. And then the video after that, we'll start getting into the higher level components. And actually, one more thing. Let's check this out. So, inside my hub, field research, we just need some iron plates. Let's go down and see if we have enough iron plates. I'm going to go grab stuff. So, I'm going to make a cut while I grab stuff. And then I'll meet you back up at the hub. Alright, we're back inside the hub, and let us go ahead and finish tier 1. We've got enough resources to do this. And look at that. Let's go ahead and launch away.
Milestone
launch through the tree
the
thing.
molecular analysis machine
It's got to go through the tree.
Will allow R&D to provide new technologies, items, and buildings based on samples collected in the field. To ensure a greater chance of success during exploration, an upgraded tool belt has been provided, as well as an object scanner and beacons. Note: the object scanner requires calibration via the MAM to enable detection of specific objects.
Excellent. So we will discuss all of that in the next episode, but just for S&Gs, let's go ahead and go in here. So what we basically got was the MAM, the molecular analysis machine. This thing is going to be pretty important because it's going to allow us to research different objects throughout the world that then will give us different components that we wouldn't see just normally, you know, inside our crafting table or assemblers or whatnot. And we're going to be able to then make other nicer, better, bigger things, you know, the whole point of this game. So now we got an object scanner as well, and we can make a beacon, so we can actually go place a beacon somewhere in the world, and it'll show up on our map later on. As well as, you know, we'll be able to see them on our HUD to see where certain things are, just to keep, you know, track of where stuff is. We got, now we can build our own personal storage instead of just having the one box here. We've got an extra hand slot, and we've got some more inventory slots. So also next video, we'll be able to start working on tier number 2. Excellent. And look at that. That gets us up into logistics number 2. So we'll be able to actually make our factory we just built more efficient. Cool. All right. With that note now, I just reminded myself that we had that available to us. On that note, this is Zombo Skater. signing out. I hope you had a great time watching this video. I know it was a jumbled mess. I promise it will get much less jumbled in the next video. And I will see you this weekend for 4 episodes of Undermine. Ta-ta for now, guys.